All right. Hi, this is Michael Ellis. Gonna start a trend. This pen isn't very good. Called Free Energy Fridays. There's the hashtag. I know that President Biden wanted there to be a moonshot for cancer, to try to come up with a cure-all for cancers and such. But what our country really needs, and what the world at large needs, is it fights for resources, particularly energy resources, as well as mineral. But in reality, if we had energy, we could access more mineral. Like I said, a priority would be energy technology, and we've seen the UAPs, UFOs, whatever you want to call them, and they have obviously some type of energy technology that isn't available to governments or people, and definitely not to the average citizen. So it's of the utmost importance to bring what we call free energy, but that just operates on a time-space kind of scale. You get like solar panels are free energy. You get it from the sun, and free energy being like magical. Obviously, it still gets its energy from another source, like neutrinos from the sun, or cosmic rays, as Nikola Tesla talked about. Just energy from stars and other places in the universe, maybe black holes or whatever seems to be emitting that type of energy that he was tapping into. So it is the utmost importance to start researching and to continue researching, I guess, and implementing technology, exotic energy sources. I mean, come on, we haven't even improved the internal combustion engine, to the point where some people claim to have gotten with special carburetors, like vaporization, like hundreds of miles on a gallon. It's just ridiculous how slowly things have been evolving in the energy sector. With computers and all that other technologies, light years in the past 20, 30 years that I've been alive. Yeah, it's just ridiculous that we haven't evolved our energy technology due to gatekeepers around the world. So I would like to bring to attention of the public at large the need to be sharing and experimenting with technology of the type of energy technology: green energy, exotic energy, fringe energy, any type of energy technology that is outside of the norm. If we can bring it to light and normalize it, remove the stigma that, oh, it's kooky, or yeah, it's not real, or it's just imagination, or crazy people. A lot of this technology is real, and now that the government has decided to popularize UFOs or UAPs, and we can see that obviously they have this, if they admit UFOs are right, they're admitting whatever they're powered by is right. So there goes, they're admitting that exotic energy technology is real. So happy Free Energy Friday. Or, I don't know, just if you need the S or, yeah, hear that. Free Energy Friday. Free Energy Friday. So happy Free Energy Friday. Let's get to it. So the main models I've been working with are particularly a substance called Orgonite, and that's descended from Orgone energy, which is like a sort of a like chi or animal magnetism. It's like a life force type of energy that was discovered by Wilhelm Reich. Wilhelm Reich discovered Orgone energy, sorry. And you know, like a life force. He discovered the cloudbuster, or invented, I should say, which could modify the weather. In doing so, he also developed can't say this, but for claiming so, anyways, you know, he's considered a quack these days. He was considered a quack at the time, and still is considered a quack right now, even though Biden wants his moonshot. Without getting too specific that I get in trouble, Wilhelm Reich got in trouble because he was claiming to cure cancer, so the FDA jumped on him, and the AMA jumped on him, and burned his books, threw him in prison, and then he died in prison of a heart attack. And he told his staff to lock his research away for 50 years because you know, humanity wouldn't be ready for it. And then 50 years, which is like 2000-ish, they did open it up in 2005, I think, maybe, or 2008, I don't know, somewhere in there. They did open it back up, and there's now a research organization in Orgone, the place that it was, I don't know, his like research whatchamacallit, laboratory. There's a foundation, and you can go on the website and stuff, and you can buy his books on Amazon. So anyways, so Orgonite descended from Wilhelm Reich's invention of the Orgone accumulator, which was basically, okay, his cloudbuster was basically pipes grounded in water. And he was able to ionically adjust the atmosphere to bring rain or to clear clouds away, hence the name cloudbuster. His Orgone accumulator was like a big wooden device with layers of, well, not wooden necessarily, but well, the frame was wooden, but the Orgone accumulator was a big device consisting of steel plates, steel wool, cotton, or not cotton necessarily, but like regular wool, organic wool, and other insulation panels. Basically, the idea was to get an alternation of organic and organic insulators, basically, and metal conductors. But they don't mention that. They just say organic layer and a metal layer. But basically what you're doing is you're building a big ass capacitor. So So they did that, and they made a box out of it. And people would go and sit in it, and they'd feel awesome, and they'd have visions, and they'd see blue sparks and stuff floating around in there. And supposedly it makes you feel better. So, so thus was the Orgone Accumulator, born by Wilhelm Reich. The fancy pants Carl Welz, I think I drew that correctly, decided to make epoxy, sand, and what should we call it? Well, like quartz, basically. And what's it called? Iron filings. In a tube, in a copper pipe, basically. I don't know. Like a copper tube or something, or mold. And Don Croft ran with that. And his wife, Carol, had visions from Wilhelm Reich to make it like a cloudbuster. So Orgone Accumulator, Cloudbuster became the Chembuster from the Orgonite. And that's like a device that's like, Orgone over here, that looked like this, times 6. So it's like the Orgonite and the 6-foot copper pipes. Sorry, my handwriting is horrible. So you have the 6-foot copper pipes. You have the Orgonite base, like 5-gallon. That's a lot actually for that, but yeah, the Orgonite being the epoxy, and instead they used like epoxy or resin, as they call it. Any resin, like it could be like fiberglass resin or polyester. I don't know. Can't think of the word. Yeah, fiberglass or epoxy. Just a cast resin. Plus, what you call it? I just forgot what. Oh, like aluminum. Swarf, which comes from the metal manufacturer and machining, sign shops. Yeah, and so the swarf is the key. So that's all recycled material, so they're either paying to get rid of it, or just like get rid of it and get a little bit of cash from it, from the recycling companies. So they used aluminum swarf, which is just the little chips and turnings from machine shops and science shops. So a lot of people just go to there and get big buckets of metal. I know a person from my hometown that I get some from sometimes. Otherwise, you can buy them online. There's lots of places that sell them now because they know people are wanting to get them for making Orgonite. So anyways, so this is the first free energy device, because you can do a lot of things with this. So actually Carl Welz started it, but Don and Carol Croft took, well actually this is the first free energy device, I want to say, because we'll talk about those later. so this and this, or these are the first major free energy devices. This was used for, the Orgonite was used for, as far as Wells had originally described it, was used more for radionics and stuff. He called it the sacrificial chicken from the dead chicken. Dead chicken, because you harvested its life force. So instead of making a sacrifice energy. So instead of killing a chicken and using all its life force to make a radionic or spell or something, you don't use dead animals in radionics, you use life force. So instead of killing a chicken to make a spell or something, Carl Wells designed the Orgonite. So he is quoted as saying, it's like a sacrificed chicken, and then it's like infinite life force. So so that's the idea, I guess, behind it. Don Croft bought it, or Don Croft bought one of his devices, and you know, it's like $300. I think he said it was for a little tube, like a few inches long. And he's like, and they opened it up, and they're like, yeah, this is a scam, basically. This is way overpriced, and made their own. And then Don's daughter, I guess, said, you know, he made one out of iron filings and epoxy or resin stuff for his zappers, his what you call it, devices, pulse frequency generator devices. And she said put the aura looks better when it's like, when it has a crystal around it. So he started embedding crystals in them, and then that's the true Orgonite with crystal. With crystals, okay. So the true Orgonite is with crystals. Oh, you can't even see that, can you? Okay, I'll have to write bigger. So true Orgonite is with crystals. And my writing's terrible, I know. So yeah, Don Cross Orgonite is with crystals, and you can put crystals in the Cloudbuster too. But the Croftian Orgonite has crystals, metal swarf, and sometimes even coils. Crystals, coils, swarf, metal, and then resin. So these are the major players in Croftian Orgonite. Okay, so there we go. So in Croftian Orgonite, you have the resin, crystals, coils, and metal. So that's different from what Wells was working on. So the Chembuster is the first major free energy device in the Orgone Orgone community. So that's just a thing you make and you set it outside, and I don't know, it plays with the weather and kind of, but overall it just gives you a really good vibe, and if you gift your community, it can help make your neighborhood a little bit less noxious from the cancer causing cluster whatever's in your neighborhood. So anyways, just drew blank. All right, so so where's the free energy? Well, the key is the free energy is in the devices. The devices run without batteries. Once it's cast, it turns on and it stays on. And you don't need to put it somewhere like out in the sun or like ground it. Don't need to ground it. It just runs and runs, and like how Wilhelm Reich described inventing the cloud buster, not the chem buster. Did I write that over here? No, chem buster. Okay. Wilhelm Reich discovered the cloud buster by stepping on a pipe at a construction site, and one end went into like a pool of water. And he started seeing like weird things on the lake next to it. So so that's how he figured it out. It was like a grounding of the atmosphere or something through the pipe. And he thought that, well, he saw like little blue like circly things, or like not circles, like tadpoles that were curling, like, the yin yang sign, that like halves of those blue he called them bions. He was probably seeing them on his retina or something, being projected from the sunlight, or not the sunlight, but the energy in the air. Like I don't know. When it's a clear, really blue day, you start to see those on your eye when you stare at the atmosphere. On cruddy days, obviously, you don't see them, even if you're under a light or something. You don't see those. So it's associated with the high pressure sort of conditions. So. Brain fart again. Anyways, what was I getting at? Okay, so this stuff is just like a permanent fixture cloud buster, but it also works in reverse and can output good energy, take in bad energy, supposedly, according to theory. So it does create a sort of ambient effect that's pleasant. If you gift, as they call it, Orgonite around the area, it makes it work better, and I can attest to that. Drawing a blank again. So the main point is that these run without power. And they run for free. These run for free with no power. So that's the main reason they're considered free energy devices. So now we go over and we look at the Orgone accumulator, and we can see that's basically a big capacitor. It has the alternate layers of conductors and insulators. So that makes a capacitor. Well, not polarized, but just regular capacitor. And so how a capacitor works is it basically has two layers with the insulator. So that's the insulator, and these are conductors. Sorry, that's really hard to read. So like this plate will get positively charged. and this plate will become negatively charged because of the opposing forces. So that's basically how, you have to put this on a positive and then on a negative. And they build up charge, and then once the capacitor is full, it's at the same voltage as this when it's full, at full capacity, like a water bucket filling up, basically. That's kind of how it works. It just accumulates charge. And, okay, so moving on. So yeah, this is basically a capacitor. You can look it up in the Bible. I don't know the verses by heart, but it's basically an Ark of the Covenant. As well, because the Ark of the Covenant is like a big box lined with gold. Same deal, same difference. So what we're looking at is giant capacitors, and they fill up with free energy, I guess, because you got the magnetic waves coming through. Because the Earth is covered in magnet pools. Yeah, so like the telluric, and then you got the coming out here protecting the planet, and then you have it like pooling around, but then your compass always points towards the big ones, obviously. I mean, but like ley lines and stuff, those go in like pools and stuff. So anyways, but yeah, your lines of force are cutting through this stuff, and then this trails off, I think, from the solar wind. Anyways, it's the Earth's magnetic field is cutting through that, and then it charges up the plates. So those get, I don't know, negative or positive. And then it benefits the person inside. So yeah. I mean, these don't have, this is non-polar energy, but anyways. I think that's all I wanted to say. So, Free Energy Friday, the theme is Orgone. Or Orgone, however you pronounce it. Oops, I'm drawing, you can't see. Okay, so Free Energy Friday, it's tongue twister. The theme is Orgone. And I'm going to stop right there and take a break, and I'll get back with the next subject.